very similar in a lot of ways, but the thing that sets it apart is the Battlefield 6 gunplay. Like, the gameplay elements in Battlefield 6 versus Warzone are very different, and for my tastes, I prefer it. So I've had more fun with RedSec than I had with Warzone. Warzone I have many more hours than RedSec with, obviously, but I hate Warzone now. I think it sucks major. That is some turbo cheeks over there. RedSec at least feels fun to play. It feels nice. I prefer the Battlefield formula, so I've been having more fun with RedSec. But if you already like Warzone, I don't know if RedSec's going to win you over.
Overall, I give it like an 8.5. 8.5 out of 10. I think I would give it a higher score if there were more POIs on the map where you could land, where there was like really good loot. But if, from my experience playing for the last few hours, there's only a couple POIs where you're going to get like really good loot quick. But then again, like, I don't know if that's the cadence to this game. I think you're supposed to land and do challenges to unlock quick and then go from there. I don't really think it's about loot. But like, then again, you need plates and I can't fucking find them. So other than that, I'm loving it, man. If I could find plates, I put this shit like a 9.5.
What's wrong with Warzone right now, I personally believe, is they have an identity crisis. They don't know whether to cater to the Resurgence. They don't know whether to cater to the casuals. They don't know what to do. They're making big maps that are catered Resurgence, right? Then they brought back Verdansk and did 0 updates. They just have an identity crisis, man. They just don't know what to do, which direction to go. I'm gonna tell you right now, especially with Blackout coming out, please, Warzone, go back to the core of what Battle Royale was. Don't listen to Lucky Chamu or any of these Resurgence guys. I promise you, Resurgence is not going to carry Warzone into the future. It is not going to be the most goated thing. There's a reason why RedSec is succeeding because of what it is because they did Battle Royale the right way. And it feels so intense and makes the game fun. When you try to cater to every single audience, bro, it just doesn't work out. You confuse everybody. You start losing the value of it. And I think Resurgence took away the feeling of how a game felt winning in Warzone. That's why I'm having fun with RedSec. Battle Royale is super fun. They just got to figure out their identity, especially with Blackout.
You ever notice how quiet it's been lately? No hype, no trending clips, no viral countdowns, just silence. And it's weird, right? Because we're talking about Call of Duty, one of the biggest gaming franchises on Earth. Yet somehow, Black Ops 7 feels invisible. So what happened? How did one of the most talked about series suddenly lose all its energy right before launch? Well, the answer isn't simple. It's a mix of burnout, bad timing, and maybe even a little manipulation behind the scenes. But before we jump to conclusions, let's look at what's actually going on, because the numbers and the conversations tell a much bigger story than most people realize. If you pull up Google Trends right now and compare Black Ops 7 to Black Ops 6, the difference is almost painful to look at. During BO6's launch window, interest was sky high. Streamers, clips, and community discussions dominated every feed. But with BO7, the buzz barely flickers. Even YouTube analytics are showing the same thing. Creators who used to pull hundreds of thousands of views on Call of Duty content are struggling to reach half that now. And if you scroll through the replies on Twitter or Reddit, people aren't just quiet, they're indifferent. Some fans blame the marketing. Others say it's the competition. Battlefield 6 dropped their open beta right in the middle of Call of Duty's pre-launch campaign. A brutal move that split the audience overnight. But that alone doesn't explain why people seem tired of even talking about Call of Duty. Because the truth is, this isn't just about trends or numbers. It's about trust. And that's where things start to get messy. It began with a single tweet, one sentence, a few words that sent the entire community into chaos. A gaming creator posted a screenshot that said, "Call of Duty, Black Ops 7 launches with reduced skill-based matchmaking." Now, if you've played Call of Duty anytime in the last few years, you know how explosive those words are. Skill-based matchmaking has been one of the most controversial topics in the franchise's history. For years, players have complained that every lobby feels like a ranked tournament, sweaty matches, no room for casual fun. So when people saw the phrase reduced skill-based matchmaking, they went crazy. Everyone thought Activision had finally listened. But then, someone noticed the wording. The blog post didn't actually say reduce skill-based matchmaking. It said, playlists where skill is minimally considered for matchmaking. That one small difference changed everything. Because minimal skill-based matchmaking doesn't mean no skill-based matchmaking. It just means there's a little less of it. But by the time people realized that, the wildfire had already spread. Tweets went viral. YouTubers made videos breaking it down frame by frame. And suddenly everyone had a different interpretation of what Activision really meant. Was it a lie? A marketing trick? A misunderstanding? No one agreed. but everyone was angry.
Why are all the content creators that are talking shit about Battlefield players calling everybody dads and shit? Like, it's not like they're the ones also playing Battlefield, and the majority of COD players are also coming over to play Battlefield now until Black Ops 7 releases. So how is it just dads and uncles? I just don't get it. I don't know, man. Like, me personally, I'm a Call of Duty player, but I'm not dumb. I'm not delusional where I understand that the way Battlefield should be played. So, like, am I a dad or uncle for saying that they shouldn't be going for kills? Even if they're assault, they should be playing objective, not just going for kills. I don't know. Am I lost here?
Bro, I think Chad, I genuinely think there's just two new POIs. And I mean, to be fair, what do I expect? I don't really expect anything.
Damn, thank you for the prompt. Appreciate it,
to be honest.
Hell yeah, Chad, Saber dance. Let's go. Let's go.
I said it earlier, and it's pretty apparent Warzone's on the back burner, boys. You know, I get it.
What started as a small detail turned into a full-blown civil war inside the Call of Duty fandom. On one side, you had players celebrating what they thought was a return to the classic matchmaking system. On the other, you had skeptics calling it a trick, a rug pull to boost pre-orders. Every tweet about BO7 turned into an argument thread. Reddit was flooded with posts titled, "They lied again," or "Finally, no more skill-based matchmaking." Even major influencers jumped in, quoting each other, correcting each other, and sometimes just fueling the fire. It wasn't about facts anymore. It was about which side you believed. And while all this noise filled up everyone's feeds, Activision stayed quiet. No clarification, no statement, just silence. And in that silence, people started making up their own answers. When a company doesn't communicate clearly, the community does it for them. And that's exactly what happened here. The result? Total confusion. Some players canceled their pre-orders. Others doubled down, saying, "You guys are overreacting." But underneath it all, a new feeling started spreading through the Call of Duty scene. A feeling that maybe, just maybe, we've all been here before. Because here's the truth. This isn't the first time Activision has overpromised and underdelivered. Veteran players still remember the no microtransactions at launch, promise that age like milk, the free content for everyone, update that quietly turned into battle passes and store bundles, or the return to classic gameplay slogan that somehow led to the most monetized Call of Duty era ever. So when people saw the phrase minimal skill-based matchmaking, their first reaction wasn't excitement, it was suspicion. They've seen this movie before, the one where Activision says, "We listen to the fans," only for the final product to feel exactly the same. And to be fair, some of that skepticism is justified. The community has been asking for transparency for years, and instead, they get marketing buzzwords that can mean anything. So, what happens when fans stop believing what they're told? They stop caring altogether. That's exactly what we're seeing with BO7. Not anger, not boycotts, just disinterest. The kind of silence that's worse than outrage. But the trust issue is only one part of the story, because even if Activision had done everything right, another storm was brewing that they couldn't control. While Call of Duty fans were busy arguing over skill-based matchmaking definitions, Battlefield 6 was quietly doing everything right. EA dropped a cinematic trailer that actually looked next-gen. Their beta launched smoothly across multiple platforms. Influencers got early access, gameplay previews, and constant developer interaction. Meanwhile, Call of Duty's pre-launch felt like deja vu. Recycled marketing beats, reused assets, and a reveal that gave away nothing new. The contrast was brutal. Gamers started comparing side-by-side clips, saying, "Battlefield looks alive, Call of Duty looks tired." And honestly, they weren't wrong. Battlefield 6 had momentum. Call of Duty had confusion. And when your competitor starts trending during your own launch window, that's a nightmare scenario. But it wasn't just about visuals or gameplay. It was about energy. Battlefield felt like it was moving forward, trying new things. Call of Duty felt stuck in a loop. Still, the real problem wasn't competition, it was exhaustion. Because even if Battlefield didn't exist, the Call of Duty community was already running on empty. Let's be honest, most of us grew up on Call of Duty. Midnight launches, Doritos Call of Duties, 360 lobbies filled with chaos and laughter. But now, it's different. Every year, it's the same cycle. Announcement, trailer, beta, outrage, disappointment, repeat. It's like watching the same movie with slightly better graphics each time. And after a while, even the biggest fans start to feel it, that creeping sense of, why bother? Players say it all the time now. I'm not mad at Call of Duty anymore. I'm just tired. That's burnout, and it's one of the hardest things to fix. Even when Activision does something right, people barely react, because the excitement muscle has been used too many times. Combine that with microtransaction fatigue, recycled content, and years of broken promises, and you've got a community that's emotionally checked out. It's not that they hate the game, it's that they don't trust the feeling of hype anymore. And that's dangerous because hype is what fuels Call of Duty. It's what drives the views, the sales, the clips, the energy. Without it, the machine stops moving. But what really pushed this whole thing over the edge wasn't burnout alone, it was what happened next. Because just when the dust seemed to be settling, the misinformation hit overdrive. Right when people thought the confusion couldn't get any worse, it did. Out of nowhere, the skill-based matchmaking debate exploded again. Screenshots, cropped images, fake leaks, all flooding timelines faster than anyone could keep up. Creators started uploading breakdown videos using half-confirmed sources, and Twitter was filled with posts claiming insider info about matchmaking changes. But most of it completely wrong, and leading the chaos was one particular tweet from a well-known Call of Duty commentator named Fooly. He posted, half asleep and half joking, about the new matchmaking policy, asking if Activision had quietly changed their promise. The tone was casual, sarcastic, but the internet doesn't do nuance. Within hours, his tweet had 200,000 views, and the entire community was arguing about it. People called him everything from illiterate to finally speaking the truth. And just like that, Fooly's post became the centerpiece of a controversy that didn't even exist a few hours earlier. But that's how fragile the Call of Duty community has become. One misread sentence can spiral into an internet wildfire. It wasn't even about who was right anymore. It was about people finally having a reason to vent years of frustration. Everyone was thinking the same thing. We've been misled before. What if it's happening again? And that fear, not anger, not disappointment, but fear of being played is what truly killed the hype. But the wild part? None of this was officially confirmed or denied by Activision. They let the community fight itself while the misinformation spread unchecked. By the time the truth came out, that skill-based matchmaking was still in the game, just toned down. The damage was already done. Thousands of players had already canceled pre-orders. Creators were openly calling the marketing deceptive, and interest in the game had completely cratered. But underneath all that drama was something much bigger, something that goes beyond one tweet or one launch. Because what happened with Black Ops 7 revealed a hard truth about modern gaming communities. And it's not pretty. You see, what really killed the excitement for BO7 wasn't the game itself, it was the cycle. Every single year, Call of Duty fans get hyped, get burned, get angry, then swear they're done until the next trailer drops. It's a never-ending loop of excitement and disappointment. But this time, that loop broke. The audience finally stopped reacting. And that's worse than hate, because hate means you still care. Indifference means you've moved on. When players saw that minimal skill-based matchmaking headline, it triggered a flashback. The same promises, the same marketing tone, the same hollow hope. They didn't rage this time. They shrugged. That's when you know a franchise is in trouble.
You want me to sacrifice everything that I've done this match to go res these goofballs all the way over? Hell no. There's a tank between us and 6 guys down, and they want me to burst through the tank like I'm Superman and res everybody. What I said was I'm kind of like a part-time medic, right? I use a support class. It's the most overpowered class in the entire game. It's a support class. So you support your teammates by helping them cross with the smokes, which I use all the time. So like I said, I usually res people around me, of course, and I res my teammates anywhere they're on the map. But I'm not like TikTok Steve on TikTok going around resing 500 times a game. Run support. You know, I support everybody on the squad with the smokes, with the ammo, with the barricades, and it really is OP. So let me know in the comments if you guys agree. They definitely need to rebalance, I think, support, because I think it's just so overpowered. And please, there's no clip on the internet where I said I hate Battlefield 6. 80% of the time I'm having fun.
But here's the thing, right? We're not talking about the average casual here. We're not talking about the scat master. We're talking about the breed of players that have just migrated from Call of Duty. And as you saw in that previous clip from his homie, these guys are known to not play the objective. So when he's detailing how people are complaining at him that he needs to start reviving people, my initial impression is that there's probably been multiple times where he might need to go out of his way just a little bit and maybe risk his life, kind of.
They're not going to, man. That's just how these Call of Duty players are.
Even content creators, the ones who built their careers on Call of Duty, started diversifying. You see them uploading Battlefield content, single-player games, even reaction videos, not because they hate Call of Duty, but because they can't rely on it anymore. And the viewers? They feel the same way. There's no trust left, no real excitement, just curiosity. Let's see if it's actually different this time. It's not that people stopped caring about Call of Duty overnight, it's that they've been trained to expect disappointment. And when that happens, hype dies before it even starts. That's the real reason Black Ops 7 feels so quiet. It's not the algorithm, it's not Battlefield, and it's not the economy. It's emotional exhaustion, the kind that builds up over years of being promised something new, only to get the same recycled formula. But here's the irony. That silence, that drop in hype, might actually be the best thing that could have happened to the franchise. Because sometimes, when the noise finally stops, people start listening again. Think about it. Every major Call of Duty comeback started with a downfall. When Infinite Warfare got roasted for being too futuristic, Activision panicked, went back to boots-on-the-ground gameplay, and gave us World War II. When Ghosts flopped, they shifted tone completely for Advanced Warfare. Call of Duty's history is built on rebounds, so maybe this low point, this lack of hype, isn't the end, maybe it's the reset they needed. Because right now, the brand isn't being kept alive by marketing anymore. It's being kept alive by the people who still believe it can get better. The small, loyal base who doesn't care about trends or pre-orders, they just want Call of Duty to feel like Call of Duty again. And that's the audience Activision has to win back. Not with flashy trailers, not with celebrity cameos, but with honesty. If they can pull that off, real transparency, real gameplay changes, real connection, maybe, the next launch won't be silent. But until then, the Call of Duty community is stuck in limbo, half hopeful, half done trying. What happened with Black Ops 7 isn't just about one game, it's about us, the audience. We've hit a point where hype cycles are faster than development cycles, where leaks, fake rumors, and viral tweets have more power than official trailers, and developers know it. That's why they drip feed leaks on purpose, or use vague marketing lines like minimal skill-based matchmaking. It's designed to spark conversation, even if that conversation turns toxic. Because in today's attention economy, outrage counts as engagement. The system rewards noise, not truth. And that's what makes this whole story so interesting. It's not about whether Black Ops 7 is good or bad. It's about how the illusion of excitement has replaced actual excitement. We don't wait for experiences anymore. We chase speculation. And when speculation backfires, everyone loses. If you scroll through Call of Duty forums right now, you'll notice something. People aren't fighting as much anymore. They're just done. They still play the beta, still buy the skins, but the emotional investment is gone. You can feel it in the comment sections. Less energy, fewer jokes, more meh. Even the memes feel recycled. That's what apathy looks like. And for a game built entirely on hype, that's terrifying. The biggest danger to any franchise isn't hate. It's when people stop caring enough to even argue. And that's exactly where Call of Duty is right now. But ironically, that might also be the moment it finally has to change. Because when silence becomes louder than hype, something's gotta give. So, where does that leave us? If Activision wants to save Call of Duty's reputation, it's not about fancy reveals or PR spin, it's about regaining trust. The next few months after launch are critical. If they deliver a game that actually listens to players, fixes matchmaking, and respects people's time, they could reignite the spark. But if it's another cycle of minimal skill-based matchmaking, microtransaction bundles, and vague promises, then this quiet pre-launch will turn into a quiet franchise. Because the Call of Duty name doesn't carry the same invincibility it used to. Gamers have options now. Better, fresher, cheaper options. And if you make people feel like their trust doesn't matter, they'll move on, permanently. That's the real risk behind what we're seeing with Black Ops 7. It's not just a sales problem, it's a cultural shift. So maybe the real question isn't, why does nobody care about Black Ops 7? Maybe it's, why did we ever stop expecting better? Because beneath all the drama, the fake leaks, the misinterpreted blog posts, and the Twitter outrage, there's a simple truth. People don't want to hate Call of Duty. They just want to believe in it again. And belief doesn't come from trailers or promises, it comes from trust. So, until Activision earns that trust back, don't expect fireworks or record-breaking launches. Expect silence. The kind of silence that doesn't mean people are gone. It means they're waiting for Call of Duty to finally give them a reason to care again. So, what do you think? Is the Call of Duty community burned out beyond repair? Or is this just the calm before another comeback? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you made it this far, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let's see if Black Ops 7 can prove everyone wrong.